Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be factoring trinomials when our first coefficient is not 1 in front of the first term, okay? Remember that a trinomial is ax squared plus bx plus c. So we're talking about when the a coefficient is a number other than 1, okay? These are going to be the steps that we started on Monday. Okay, so this first one, I know that my A is 3, my B is -2, and my C is -5. My A, my B, and my C. So we're gonna draw our lines, we're gonna do our bars and our box. We're gonna multiply our A term times our B term, so 3 times -5. Inside the box goes -15, okay? So now we have to list our factors of -15. So we know that it's 1 and -15. I have -1 and +15. 3 and -5. And -3 and +5. Those are our factors of -15. We're looking for which of these factors add together to give us this middle term, which is our B term of -2. Well, I know that if I take 3 minus 5, that's going to give me -2. So I take the 3 and the -5, and I'm going to turn these both into fractions. And I'm going to put them over my first term, my A term, which is the 3. Again, these are the steps that we started on Monday. Now, difference between Monday and now is we're going to be able to reduce one of these fractions. Okay? I cannot reduce -5 over 3 because there's no number that goes into -5 and the same number that goes into 3. Okay, so I'm going to do my 2 sets of parentheses. Being that I know that I cannot reduce this, the bottom number is going to tell me how many x's I have. I have 3 x's, and then I have on top tells me that I have a -5. But this fraction I can reduce because 3 over 3, 3 goes into itself once over 1, okay? Again, bottom number tells me how many x's I have, so I have 1 x. And what type of 1 do I have? Oh, well, I have a +1. So we just factored 3, I'm sorry, these were using p's. I get into the habit of using x's. So these are going to be p's. So 3p squared minus 2p minus 5 factors into p plus 1 times 3p minus 5. We'll do the same steps in number 2. Remember, bars and box. I draw 2 bars from my A and my C terms. Multiply those, so 2 times -9 is -18. List my factors of -18. So I have -1 and 18. 1 and -18. -2 and 9. 2 and -9. I have -3 and 6, and 3 and -6. Those are my factors of -18. Which of those factors adds together to give me my B term, my middle term, which is +3? Well, I know if I look at all these, and I know that -3 plus 6 is going to give me a +3. So I list -3 and +6. Remember, I want to turn them each into a fraction over my first term, my A term, which is 2. And I want to see if I can reduce either one of these. Is there a number that goes into both -3 and 2? I don't think so. So we cannot reduce this fraction. Is there a number that goes into both 6 and 2? Yeah, well, 2 goes into both. And if I divide 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. And 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. So now we're dealing with this fraction and this fraction after we reduce 6 over 2. I do my 2 sets of parentheses. Remember, the bottom number tells you how many x's you have. So I have 2x, and then the minus the 3. Bottom number tells me how many x's I have, and what kind of 3 is it? Well, it's positive. So again, I use x's instead of n's. I get into that bad habit. But 2n squared plus 3n minus 9 will give you 2n minus 3 and n plus 3. Okay, your homework for today is to finish up until number 8. And if you follow those steps, these should be pretty straightforward for you. Guys, have a great weekend. It's supposed to be warm this weekend, so enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you guys on Monday.